Governor Snyder, so everyone wants to know the legacy issue. You've reinvented what's happening in Michigan technology, Michigan cybersecurity. Do you feel confident that the governor, whoever he or she is coming up behind you, is going to continue that legacy?
I do. I mean, if you think about it, this is something that's critically important to our safety and security of all our citizens, and not just in Michigan, but in our country. We're a leader. And so it's something we'll clearly present to whoever wins the governor's race. And what I would say is they don't need to be as big a nerd as I am, but they need to embrace the policy and the direction, because the good part is we've got wonderful people in place that will run with these things, that want to see them grow. So it's just giving people the ability and the backstop support to know that people can go be aggressive about growing our cyber presence in a positive way. And I think that'll happen.
Related to technology, what are your proudest achievements and what stands out for you?
Oh, that's a tough question because the good part is on the technology front, we've done so many great things. From the external side, our leadership and mobility. I think as a state government, we've been a great catalyst, though. We're not doing all that work, but we've created the ecosystem with Planet M and all the wonderful things going on to do that. The other one is just how we've served our citizens in terms of using technology to improve service delivery. We've made massive investments. We were in the hole. I joked to people, and it wasn't a joke. We had to get rid of some COBOL systems still and update them and get them to the modern world, to the cloud. And we've done much of that. There's still work to be done, but that's wonderful. And then just the overall presence and the attitude about Michigan being a place of innovation, because innovation and technology go hand in hand. And now we're viewed as a place that if you really want to be creative, we've got the talent, we've got the resources. Come to Michigan, stay in Michigan, and grow.
What else would you, I know you don't have very much time left, but if you had more time left, what would you still like to do that you didn't get done?
Well, there are some of these kind of things. Specific issues would be like auto no-fault insurance.
Right.
Beyond that, though, I think it's a continuation of solidifying many of these programs and getting people to appreciate it. I mean, if you go to the cybersecurity area again, I don't think a lot of citizens are even doing a lot of the basics. Two-factor authentication,
right.
Understanding how to look for spear phishing attacks. There's a lot of education that still needs to be done, but the part that makes me feel good is when we first started this conference, this summit, it was a much smaller event. We have 860 people that represent how many different organizations, and the reach and the outreach to people beyond just kind of the techie world is starting to happen, and we need to continue that.
Elections are coming up by the time this is produced. How are we from the standpoint of voter security and election security in the state?
Yeah, with respect to election security, we can never take that for granted, but I think Michigan's, much like everything else in cyber, we're relatively well positioned. What I think we need to continue to work on, though, is when you talk about elections, it's partnerships between local government, state government, working together. And I think we need to make sure we're supporting local governments that may not have the resources and the mechanisms to do all the things you would normally want to do, and following good practice. So again, I think we're a leader in this, but this is an area that I would emphasize we probably should continue a path of very diligent work to get the bar as high as possible.
Sure.
Yeah, what's next for me is whatever my wife Sue says. I owe her some vacation time, some downtime. She's made it clear that she'll take some of that, and at some point she's going to say, I have too much energy, and she's going to tell me to get out and do something so I'm not around too much. Whatever that is, I don't know. I do have an interest, particularly on cyber, of continuing some role, some participation. I don't know whether that be through a university, think tank, company, nonprofit, but hopefully I could leverage a lot of the experience that I have, combining both my IT background, my venture background, and my public policy background.